What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Grab My Banner podcast, the premier Apex Legends podcast. I'm here at the table. We've got Kyle, we've got Troy, we've got Brian. We were all supposed to be here at 5:45, and 3 out of the 4 showed up at the correct time. When the 4th person, Brian, showed up a little late, not a little late, it was considerably late.
20 minutes.
He walked through the door and he said, "I thought you guys said 5:45." And we said, "Yeah, we did." And he's like, "Well, it's 6:05, so I don't see what the issue is." So I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with you.
Well, first off, I was in a comp game that I was absolutely wrecking the lobby.
Yeah, you made us watch the video. That's another thing. He comes in and the first thing he does is like, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Won't ever happen again. I'm so sorry, guys." He's like, "Hey guys, this is why I'm late. Check this out." Proceeds to show me a 10-minute video that he recorded on his iPhone of him playing in Silver 1 and getting kills as Caustic, and then being like, "See that clip? That was really cool. That was a really cool clip." That clip could have been condensed down to 30 seconds, and you instead recorded it, and I'm not sure you should have any memory left on your phone with how long that video was.
It was 9 minutes and 8 seconds.
Why would you record like this for 9 minutes and 8 seconds?
Let me tell you, with the amount of shit that I take when I come onto this show, you guys would not have believed a damn word I said unless I brought you something
that
showing
video
that
it makes me want to give you more shit.
At least you can't say I played bad in that video.
You're proving your
Brian,
own
you died.
point by showing off your kills against Silver 1 players. That's like going on to MasterChef and then showing all the judges a 30-minute video of you peeling carrots before the show starts.
Hey guys, I got this easy mac.
We probably would have been more impressed if you were hitting headshots on the dummy in the training arena. Because honestly, man, those kids were shooting each other. Like, they're killing their own teammates. You can't be proud of a Silver 1 performance. It's certainly not an excuse to play against Silver 1 kids and feel like you're doing good and then not show up to the pod on time.
And Brian, you can't show me a clip where you die in the clip. In the most pivotal moment, you died in the clip.
The most pivotal moment, I got brought back, and then I went and killed the last 2 squads.
Keyword brought back. You died in the clip.
It happens. You get knocked down. I didn't die all the way. You get knocked occasionally. It happens.
Do you think Imperial Hal or Vaxlon would be bragging about a clip of when there was a split or when they started a smurf and they were just dumping on children in Silver 1? Do you think that no matter, even if they killed all of the people in the entire lobby, including their own teammates, do you think that's anything they would be bragging about? No, because they know that they outclass them. You're proving how bad you suck by trying to flex on Silver 1 children and then showing it to us like it's proof of how much of a big man you are.
And showing it to us 20 minutes late.
Listen, I even said before I showed you that clip, I said this is as much of me hitting my shots as it is the fucking dumbasses in my lobby. I did say that.
Yes, you did. But
which would have been okay if you showed me the last minute and a half of that clip rather than the first 9 minutes.
Would it be me if I didn't waste your time?
You have a point.
yes.
You do waste my time a lot. We had a good week this week. First week of gambling is in the books. Brian and Kyle have a bet that Brian can't get to platinum by himself. And that bet is ongoing right now. Brian is still in silver, and we've got
Silver 1.
So what? 30 more days or something like that. Brian, how's the platinum track going?
Well, considering I've played 3, maybe 4 times, not bad. I don't play for very long. I haven't gone down, which it's silver. You can literally loot your way through silver. It's not difficult. Gold, you can actually do the same in gold. You just have to be able to put in enough time. So Kyle's banking more on time than anything.
It's still a good bet because we know that you don't have time. Because I'm starting to realize that like you're late to things and you're constantly like behind on stuff. Not because of like life. It's just you not being able to manage time.
Yeah, that's a large part. me and my boss had a big talk about that at one point in my life.
When your boss is having talks with you about that, that's probably when you
plural bosses.
Okay, that's
multiple jobs.
This isn't good. We should stop this right now.
What?
All right, guys. Were you going to say something?
Well, yeah. First of all, playing against Silver 1 is the apex equivalent of cheating. Second, what What do you win if you win the bet for when Brian inevitably doesn't get into platinum?
Well, Kyle will be buying me a sweatshirt at some point.
Oh, it's a sweat. That's what it was.
The zip-up sweatshirt.
Brian will be getting me a sick-ass Apex shirt.
If you want to make sure he sucks, just make sure that he has some other head-to-head every week, and you'll guarantee that he will fucking underperform the entire season. Try that.
Yeah, you could do that, or just tell him that the last day of the season is like 30 days beforehand, because he wouldn't. He'll procrastinate till the last second. He won't do it. All right, guys, we got a packed show for you guys here today. We're gonna get into our topic of debate here in just a moment. Then we'll get into our main topic, which is the aftermarket event, all the limited time modes, the skins, crossplay beta, all that, including the character changes. We'll get into some of the glitches as well. Then we're going to talk about Horizon. We've got a lot of leaks on Horizon. We hit this at the perfect time. We get to talk about her a little bit. And we got some news from the Shrug Daddy, Shrugtul, pretty much confirming her kit. So we're going to go into that as well and how she fits into the game. And then we will finish off the show like we always do with gambling. Also, if you guys aren't following our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikTok, go ahead and follow us at GrabMyBannerPod on all of those. Our TikTok just had a huge blow up right now. Had a really big video pop off for us. So go ahead and follow us on all of those. Guys, let's get into the main topic of debate. And normally, these come from Reddit. This week, it does not. This one comes from Instagram. I saw a lot of posts on Instagram about this. So a lot of people have been saying, put the R99 back on the ground and replace it with the alternator with disruptor rounds in the package. Fuck you, fuck both of you.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
That is so whack. I don't want that at all. I hate disruptor rounds. I still have nightmares of disruptor rounds. I would much rather not see disruptor rounds ever touch this game ever again.
Are disruptor rounds more potent than a fully turbocharged gold devotion at its peak? Was it more?
I would say the same.
Pretty close to the same, right?
Yeah.
But we said that just devotion inside the care package was always fine. We never had an issue with that. And if they're the same, I mean, you came out of your mouth.
But the reason why the devotion wasn't as bad is the recoil was insane on that thing. The alternator shoots a straight line.
But it shoots a lot slower and a much
which
much
helps
smaller,
it out.
Yeah, but a much smaller clip.
But remember how quickly disruptor rounds killed people.
Oh, very quickly. And it should be a legendary weapon.
Well, yeah. Well, plus, so the main thing that helped the alternator was that back in the day, it shot a lot slower, had a much lower clip. Now it shoots a lot faster, has a bigger clip. But if they moved it back to where it shot slower and had a smaller clip, I really think that it would be fine. Because you would have to hit the headshots and you would have to do, like...
I don't even think it'd be that bad.
Now playing Devil's Advocate, would that even be good enough to be a crate weapon?
Yes.
Disruptor rounds, yes.
Dude, disruptor rounds were so destroyed.
You just said you got melted in like what felt like 3 bullets.
I'm playing Devil's Advocate right now because if you guys are saying if they made a smaller clip and lowered the fire rate.
I don't think they'd make a smaller clip, lower the fire rate. I say just throw disruptors on the bitch, give it the gold everything, and throw it in the box and give us the R99. Not how it is now, but the R99 what we did have.
So, hold on, time out. You want it to have disruptor rounds now after it's received all its buffs.
I mean, at the very
I feel
worst,
like to be a crate weapon, it would have to.
At the very worst, you nerf the recoil.
You mean
That-
add more recoil?
That thing would absolutely...
Yeah, you nerf it so the recoil is harder to control. And you make it left and right, because if you watch the alternator shoot, it actually shoots left and right. It doesn't shoot up and down as much. So you nerf it horizontally, which is a worse recoil than anything vertical. We have seen that from the Havoc be an issue. I also think the Havoc should go to the box or to the Legendary, but that's besides the point. The alternator, I think it'd be perfectly fine. Increase the recoil on it a little bit and throw disruptors, drop the R99 to the ground. I think it's a great replacement. I think it gives them a reason to have disruptors still in their box, like their box of tricks that they could pull out. I think it'd be a cool thing to have.
I actually think that if you gave it disruptors now with all the buffs that it has, you'd get fucking slaughtered every time.
Yeah, but how much ammo are you going to fucking have with it? 250?
So if it
250 total?
has a purple clip, it has 26 bullets.
That's fine.
26 bullets of double damage to shields.
That's fine.
You're kidding.
The issue isn't with the amount of damage and the length of the clip. They can put an entirely different issue of, is this even okay to take right now? because it has such a small ammo supply after that clip. Do you only get 3 clips of it? That's enough for one fight. That's not much. You're going to run into 2 disruptors the entire time at most.
We also did not have red shields at the time that disruptors were out.
True.
So that adds a little bit more.
And I don't know if we had the low profile and the caustic
No,
in Gibraltar.
low profile had just come out.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what made it even more frustrating because I was dealing with I was dealing with losing my 5% and having this perk that did way more damage.
I will say this, after playing low profile characters and things like that and having to deal with the meta we just got out of where it was such a quick TTK, I don't think throwing disruptors in it would be any quicker time to kill than that.
Honestly, like, this has nothing to do other than just, like, get the idea of disruptor rounds. Just get them, like, respawn. Take this idea that you have in your mind right now. Just fucking throw it. Throw it outside. Throw it outside. Never think about it again. Pretend like it never happened. Just never talk about it ever again.
I mean, we kind of have disruptors in the game already, though.
With what?
Ramparts thing.
And also the Sentinel.
Damage.
Well, I mean, the Sentinel got taken out, but we'll get to that later.
The Sentinel's got disruptors, and it rips off all the shield, but it is a semi-automatic weapon.
Yeah, and it takes forever.
Which I understand the downside to that, and they definitely played it that way on purpose, and I get that. But it's not like they don't have it in the game. Like Kyle said, Rampart Shield, it fucking can shred you. Mm-hmm. Now, disruptors going through the Rampart Shield might be an issue.
But notice all of these things have, like, barriers on them. Like, Rampart Shield, you can only set them up in certain areas, and they can't move. Like, once they're down, they're down.
But that's
then with the Sentinel, it's like it's a bolt-action rifle, so you're dealing with that reload time.
Increase the amount of recoil on the gun and lower the storage capacity for ammo. So you get less ammo. It punishes you for taking it if you are not very good with it.
But this goes back to the argument of, would that even be good enough to be a crate weapon?
Yes. And the reason being, it's a high-skill, high-reward gun, just like the Kraber and the Peacekeeper. If you can land your shots with them, they're great. If you can't land a shot with it, they're the worst fucking guns in the game. The Kraber is absolutely useless. You're better off punching if you can't land a shot.
But you're also rewarding bad players for having a attachment that is borderline over the top. So over the top that they took it out of the game for like 3 seasons.
But what I'm saying is they lower the ammo capacity on it that you can carry to where at most, say you said it holds 26, we're going to say 30 just to make easy numbers. We're looking at what? 90 extra bullets? 90 total bullets in the gun with the clip and the extra? Like, you're going to burn through that so fast. That's enough for one fight, and that's it.
No. You're thinking about it as it does damage now. You're talking a 2.5 times multiplier. That's 2.5 times multiplier. If it's 16, does.
I'm talking increased recoil on it. If they can't control that shot, they're going to burn through that so fast. And they only have a gun. It's not the alternator. No matter what you do, is not good at long range, and especially if you take or more recoil on it, they're going to be people will have to waste it or change their kit or be playing a certain way to play with it. There's going to be drawbacks to it, and it's going to be play style. And how it would make you play would be a high skill play.
Maybe, but a 2.5 multiplier to 16 is 40. That's to the chest. That's not even a headshot. Which means if you hit a headshot, it would be some ridiculous number.
Let's also talk about the other side of this argument, which is just the R99 making its return back to the floor, which I would not be opposed to whatsoever. I think that would really make for a very diverse meta of guns. Although it's all submachine guns. You know, I think you have the Volt, the Prowler, the R99. It makes for more choices.
I would throw. Obviously, the Havoc is still very
strong.
Havoc,
Hemlock.
The Hemlock, the R301 strong.
R301 as well, yeah.
The Spitfire's shown up big time recently. And the Devo is the Devo.
But yeah, so what would you guys think of just having the added benefit of having the R99 on the ground?
The R99, I think, is one of the most fun guns, so I would be super down to have it back on the ground.
I agree with that.
I would love to have the R99 on the ground. I don't think anyone really disagrees with that, other than the fact that the only thing with the R99, the downfall to it, is it's such a fun gun and such a relevant gun. With all the attachments you can put on it, it makes everybody want to play it, and that's what you see primarily through it, through the rest of the game, is just the R99. Everyone has an R99, although that does kind of end up being nice when you're trying to get light ammo at the end of the game.
a couple individuals on Reddit were doing some testing on the body damage with the alternator using the disruptors. And that compared to the R99, the R99 still has a faster time to kill all the way through blue. Only a very slightly higher 0.94 versus 0.91 for purple shields. And then obviously the same would be true for red. But essentially the R99, unless you're in the end game, is still a better weapon than it, as far as it looks right now. And so it's not crazy unbalanced.
Okay, so that gives it more clarity, and I think it would actually make a good amount of sense. Overall, I think I would like to see the R99 back on the ground. Maybe that's in the form of a different gun heading to the box. Like Brian said earlier, maybe the Havoc goes to the box instead. I'd like to see that. I just don't want disruptor rounds, but I would love to see that R99 come back. And that's part of the aspect of the argument that I didn't even think about, was just having that gun back, because it was a gun where it was like, that's a high skill cap gun. You got to be good to use that gun.
It's a staple of the game.
Yeah.
Like when you think of Apex Legends, you think of the R99.
Peacekeeper.
You think of a Peacekeeper, a Wingman. You think of Pathfinder, Wraith, and that R99 is a big part of that gun.
Yeah.
Or part of that face. And I think it'd be great to have more of it.
All right, let's hit a quick ad, and then we'll get into our main topic of discussion, the Aftermarket event and Horizon. All right, guys, the Aftermarket event dropped finally. After such a long time, we get some content in this game.
Some crossplay.
And not only have we got content, it just keeps fucking coming. It's waves, bro. Over and over. We're getting more stuff. Every single day I wake up and there's something new coming out. Something new is happening. We still got the Halloween event coming in, a week or so? We've got a lot of stuff coming our way. All this content is dropping right now, and I couldn't feel better about it. The Aftermarket event, lots of good stuff coming in the Aftermarket event. Brian, I know you really liked that limited time mode.
I love this limited time mode. What's it called? Flashpoint?
Flashpoint, yeah.
I fucking love this mode. I would honestly say let's have it as a competitive mode. Mm-hmm. Let's have it as a separate competitive mode. It takes out the heals from the game, and it focuses teams into smaller, confined areas. You heal up decently quick in those areas. All you have to do is be able to get in and hang out for, what is it, like 5 seconds, and you start healing pretty quick. There's a lot of ways to play those zones very effectively, but you don't have to. You can run in between them for a very long time, and there's no inherent advantage to not playing aggressive. Like Apex is a very campy game style when you watch it competitively. This forces teams to be very competitive and be squeezed into small areas at a time.
It also makes you rush from the zones that don't have the flashpoint areas. Like, you have to get to the next flashpoint area quickly, because you do not want to get caught in a crossfire when you're in the in-between areas, which forces you into those spots more and then forces more fights. So I do appreciate that.
So I didn't have as good of an experience as you, and I really hate it because people just camp in the flashpoints. And they just wait for you to come in, and right as you get in, they just fucking destroy you.
I've never had that happen to me. Not once since I've been playing. Every time that I've been playing, I've been able to get in, and I make it a point. Obviously, when you get in, you're going for cover. You're going to cover because you more than likely have to heal up, because you probably got in a fight on the way over. That's the way it is. Everyone's rushing to the same place. They're kind of going to start funneling through choke points, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I had some back and forth interactions. I had some like Kyle, I had some like Brian, but what I did appreciate, and Brian, you just said it, if they made this a competitive mode, it would strike me as something similar, not at all like structurally, but something similar to like Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. There are some people who only play Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. That's all they play, because they love that mode so much. If Apex could implement some sort of mode that people really, really loved, and so many people liked it, and you really like it, and it gave people another avenue to play the game, I am always, always down for that type of movement.
When I was playing it, what it felt like inside those flashpoint zones, especially more towards the end of the game, reminded me of how Skulltown used to be, how a lot of people were being forced or converged, or by choice, into small zones. You had a lot of action. It was very rapid. It almost seemed like it never stopped, and it was very nice to be able to go to. And now you can pick and choose of those Skull Towns, quote unquote.
I guess so, but I mean, it was really frustrating to me trying to get into those points and then being kind of held out from them. If you played it well, like was able to take it and then like kind of kill all the people there and then transfer to the next location, it probably wasn't as bad. but I had a lot of instances where I was trying to get into a zone and there was people there just fucking chilling, like just waiting for somebody to show up.
Yeah, that'd be frustrating. Other parts of the, I guess we should talk about the biggest part. I mean, we just got into the LTM, but the crossplay beta. We have fucking crossplay. We're fucking playing with
Sick.
other people. Let's go. I played with so many friends who had gotten into Apex either from the pod or just because they had already played, and it was so fun to just play with, my friends, man. Like, you got your PlayStation friends, and then it's like, but those guys can't always play. You have your other friends that you can go ahead and play with, and I only had one game, the very first one. The first game I played lagged out. Ever since then, I have not had an issue with the crossplay beta, and I've had a great time.
I had a little bit of lag earlier today, but it wasn't bad. I didn't lag out. So that might have been something more on my side than anything. But at the same time, like, I did not expect the servers to hold up this well.
And they have. They've done a great job. I've had a lot of fun playing crossplay. We still have Steam on the way, and we still have Switch on the way. And I've heard that Switch has made some incredible progress, and it should be coming out very soon. They'll probably push that back to Season 7 and just wait till then because they have a lot of other stuff to deal with. But the crossplay, man, this is something that we've been asking for so long, and it felt like it was such it was so long overdue. Now that it's here, I'm just happy. I'm been playing pretty much every day. That's what this has done. Is it's like, sometimes you guys are busy, so I can't play with you guys, but I have friends on other platforms like, yo, I'm on right now, and their schedule fits up with mine, and I'm like, okay, then I can go ahead and play, and I can consistently play Apex Legends all day with different friends on different platforms if I really wanted to, and that's the best part. That's how you get people to play your fucking game. That's how you get people to continue to play your fucking game. There's definitely been some times where I'm like, okay, it's lagging a tad, but the main thing for me is when I'm in a game and I just don't want to get forced out of it. And the game I did get forced out of, they actually gave me my ranked points still, and they gave it forgiveness because I had already accumulated like 60 ranked points, and I was like, oh, let's fucking go. So I got my ranked points, and they were like accident forgiveness or some shit like that in the little thing. So they know that they're going to have some issues with this. But be patient. If you're running into more issues than we are, just be patient. Once again, it is a beta, and Season 7, a lot of these issues should be ironed out.
And like we said, it is a beta, so give them your feedback on it. If you lag out, send that feedback button back to them and let them know what's going on. That way they can see the issue. Because a beta, more information they have, the quicker they're going to be able to fix it and smooth it out.
Yeah, the skins, fucking dope.
Dude,
so sick.
Fucking love them.
So sick. I bought that Lifeline skin so fast. Like that is one of the coolest skins I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I like Wraith and Caustic. Like, that shit is tight.
The sick it's pretty fucking sick.
Did you get the Caustic one yet?
No, I haven't.
You should probably get it.
I probably should.
You've
Honestly, I
been
really
playing a
want to
lot
get
of
that
Caustic.
heirloom.
Get the fucking hammer.
But
dude, you might as well just do it.
Dude, it's so much fucking money.
I know.
That's the one thing with cosmetics in this game. They're expensive, dude. It's like 100 coins is $1. See, the other thing is I haven't gotten my natural heirloom yet, and I should be getting damn close to it.
Oh yeah, that's a point.
So I'm thinking about
He
not.
already has the path.
That's why I'm sitting here going like, I want Caustic, but I should be getting close to the natural one where I should be able to get the Caustic one that way and not have to spend as much money.
The Death Hammer is sick though.
Yeah, I do. I really want that fucking Death Hammer.
It's fucking dope.
Like, the Death Hammer actually beat me out for winning Bloodhound's axe, and that's tough to say. Although I could get both, and that's really tempting as well.
Yeah. But yeah, those skins are really cool. The Revenant one is low-key my favorite, but I just don't play Revenant enough to get it. But that one's really cool.
I didn't look at that one. Which one is that?
He's like has a hood, and it's like he has a
the fucking hooded warrior one.
Yeah. And then I got
he definitely has no thigh gap.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Yeah,
but
he's skinny as fuck.
I got the Octane one because it looks like Daft Punk and it was sick.
That one's really cool too. Let's talk about some character updates. Some big changes came to Loba, Wraith, and Pathfinder. Let's start with Loba here because Kyle's been trying to play some Lobes.
Cheeks.
Yeah, she's got the cheeks out there. They didn't update her cheeks at all. They don't need to. Those things
they
are
don't need to
perfectly
upgrade
fine
them
as
cheeks.
they are. They are good. But they
Stacked.
did add to where when she drops into a game, she already has 50% on her ult charge ready to go. So when you drop into the game, 50%, that's a big deal for looting early on. I still don't think they're adjusting the right thing for Loba. If you want to make Loba viable, you gotta change something to the bracelet. I don't care what it is. If you double charge it, if you add 2 of them in there, or if you make it to where she can have her gun out after she throws it, that's where you got to change it.
So I was watching Shroud play the other day, and he was playing Loba and he was talking about the changes and stuff. He's like, all of her changes are really strong and like they help her out a lot for the team aspect. He goes, but the animations for putting down the staff are just way too long. And then also the animation when she teleports, her like not pulling out her gun fast enough after she teleports is something that is kind of weak. He said if she like pulled out her gun faster after she teleported or something like that, then maybe she would be better.
That's where, in my opinion, that's where you have to change everything. That's where it comes from. I really think that it has to do with her tactical ability.
Even if you leave the actual ability the same, you just need to change the animations on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the thing. It's not the ability. The teleport, like if it falls, and like you teleport right there. You can do that. You can leave that. That's fine. The animation at the beginning and the end of it fucking suck.
Yeah, they take way too long.
That's it.
If you could throw the ring faster and after you teleported you immediately had your gun out, I think that would ultimately push her over the edge.
Yeah, that's actually right there. That might fix it.
I mean, we've said this before. I think she's on a knife's edge. I think you put too much on it. Any character with the movement abilities in this boat, you put too much emphasis on that movement ability. In this game, they get too strong. I don't think that'd be too much.
Well, plus with how fast you get the ult, the thing that I found is that in competitive play, they do a lot of camping, and so if you're able to loot a box from inside where you're camping, I think that could be a really, really strong play. Another thing that really pisses me off about Loba is that you can't throw her bracelet through windows.
You can throw a caustic trap through a fucking
can't
window,
throw it
but you
through
can't
windows?
throw a Loba.
You can't throw the ring through the window.
You can throw a caustic trap through that shit, but you can't throw that.
That is
stupid.
so stupid.
No, you can't.
I didn't even know that because I figured that would be so.
I played
that was a
a
given.
shit ton of Loba, and the thing that upsets me the most is either A, when you throw one and it lands in a spot that it doesn't let you teleport, so your ring just comes back to you. And then the other most frustrating thing is when you chuck it at a window, it will not go through the hole in the window, no matter how good you aim it. It just hits it and falls to the ground.
Yeah, that's. I thought that's something simple.
So if you could teleport through a window and you had your gun immediately out,
You're the best flanker in the game at that point.
yes, because you could throw it behind a team, but that's what what they were talking about. They're trying to avoid because that could be really strong.
Listen,
I don't know if that's going to be that strong.
Listen, you have it in comp, like just fucking Watson. Let her ult cancel that. It's an ultimate. It should cancel that.
Or have your Loba go into a room full of 3 people and watch her get fucking shredded. Like, I really don't think it's that big.
No.
You'd have to have a very good player to understand, do that.
But you're not.
Very good team.
You're not thinking completely straight all the way through because, okay, so
It's like
you have a crypto on your team and you have a Loba. All you do is you have the crypto EMP them. They lose all their shit. You have the Loba go through the window. And you have the 2 other people go through each door. You're pushing from 3 angles when there's only 2.
I mean,
I guess, but at the same time,
it's a flank, is what it is.
It's not like when
It's a
Loba
strong
throws her
flank.
thing, it's silent. Like, people know you're like they know
They
they
know
can
you.
hear it and they can see it coming.
They know they can see it and they can hear it coming. But if you place yourself in the right position, you will dominate.
Let me tell you this: the way you fix that is, remember how Somber used to have a call out when she would teleport and it was fucking loud as shit?
Yeah.
That's how you fix that.
Well,
Pretty
she
much.
still has that. I mean, the fucking teleport for Loba's fucking and some like a
No, when she
Yeah, and
appears,
then-
have her actually verbally say something to the other team. Like, remember how in Overwatch, Somber used to say, like, I'm here or some shit
There
like
is
that.
so much memeing capability with that. Like, Loba just
it's
saying
good.
hello and just getting fucking shredded by all 3 people at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
This is gonna be
And listen,
Like, I really don't think it's that
It's
good.
going to make a bad Loba worse. It's going to make a good Loba amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, again, I'm perfectly fine with this game being, and this is coming from me, who's not the highest skilled player. If you play well, you should be rewarded for that. I have no issue with that. At the end of the day, it's just a flank.
Yeah, so it has its drawbacks. All right. Another big change, Wraith. It's a small change, but it's a big change. Number one, because of the culture of Apex. We have gotten so used to the Wraith Naruto run. It is part of this game's culture, and now it is gone because they have changed Wraith's running animation. She no longer runs like Naruto. She runs like some stupid, like she just runs like an idiot. So that kind of sucks, but I think it eventually will help out with her getting more damage done to her, because when she was hunched over, it was a little difficult to hit those shots. I think this had to be done. I wish it didn't have to come like this, but it did have to be done.
I don't have a complaint about it. I mean, like, it sucks to lose Naruto run, I guess, but if it's between that and better gameplay, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, they already nerfed her into oblivion, so they had to find something else to change about her to give her, like, a little bit more of a downgrade.
Dude, every patch notes, they should just have a dedicated section to just Wraith, because every single patch notes is just like, what are we changing this time?
They do. It's called the patch notes.
Yeah.
Buff Gib, nerf Wraith.
Yep, pretty much. Really not much to say about that one. It's just a changed running animation, not much to say. But the Pathfinder changes now, those are interesting, and I have some fucking problems with the way that they changed Pathfinder. They have now moved it. They've now moved it over to based on how far you grapple will be your cooldown time. So a bad grapple, the lowest you can go is 10 seconds. The best grapple, you will get 35. The 35 that we've been stuck with since, Season 5? So... Now, here's my issue. Nobody said a fucking word about slide time adding on to those grapples, number one. Number two, getting a 35-second grapple is the most basic of all grapples to hit. I've seen the pros and content creators like Daltouche just swing himself across the entire map. And then and then in the patch notes you write this thing like, if you can hit it, only if you can hit it, you'll get this 35-second. These are the most simple grapples. You get the 35 seconds, and the slide time adding onto it, that is so stupid. So stupid. Brian, get in there.
So this isn't a buff. Anyone who thinks this is a fucking buff is lying. You're lying to yourself. This is not a buff. This is made for bad players and new players to feel better about playing the game, being like, oh, I can play a great character, the most aggressive character in the game, and I'm fucking good. No. This is a fucking nerf.
This sucks.
And it sucks. You nerfed a character and tried to disguise it as a buff. I understand in theory what you're saying, that it should be easier, because if you do happen to hit one of the shorter grapples, it's going to be less time. You're going to get it back quicker. Good for you. No. It's so easy to get a 35. The fact that your momentum and your slide adds on the time after and can bump your 20-second grapple to a 35-second grapple just because you understand how the game works and you press a fucking crouch button. Second, it's not a 35-second cooldown on the longest grapple. It's 35 seconds from the time that the timer stops, from the time your momentum stops. The prior grapple used to start its timer as soon as you connected the grapple. It can take you up to 5 seconds to swing and slide. This is a 40-second grapple cooldown. They nerfed Pathfinder's grapple. If they're disguising this as a 35-second cooldown, they're joking with you. I spent so much time in the training room today going, there's no way this is fucking true. Let me check this out. It's true.
Yeah,
this is a nerf, outright nerf.
And it's unfortunate, too, because we were talking about the culture of Apex earlier, and Pathfinder is a major part of the culture of Apex. And to have that happen, where you take one of the best characters, and honestly, you could have just left him at 35, and we would have not liked it, but now you add on an extra 5 seconds if you hit it, and I think the part that sucks the most is I figured when they said this that I was going to be able, or other Pathfinders, very good Pathfinders, were going to be able to maybe space out two really solid grapples, get 2 15 seconds or something like that, 2 15-second grapples, and be able to make some cool plays with it. There's no way. You can't do anything with this at all.
No.
At all.
Dude, a 15-second grapple is so short, it doesn't do anything.
No.
You don't even get around a corner.
Nope.
It's not worth doing.
Nope.
You will waste your grapple.
So I think it's just horrendous.
It helps brand new players who don't understand grapple, and it helps players who understand grapple but just can't fucking grapple.
Yeah.
Players that should not be paying Pathfinder. I'd rather them just make the quickest grapple time, put it down to 5 seconds, and make the longest grapple time down to 30. It puts it back to a 35-second timer that you were expecting on the long grapples, and the shit ones that you absolutely fucked up, it actually gives you a way to escape. You might actually see 2 quick 10-second grapples where you knock a guy and then you reposition inside the same room with the teammates.
That's what I was hoping for.
That might be more realistic compared to what we have now.
I was hoping for like tactical abilities or like tactical ways to get out of fights using shorter grapples, which you're not going to get. Because here's the thing, and here's what bothered me, was I purposely did a bad grapple, and I wanted to just see how far it went. I slid after the grapple, and it added on like 20 seconds. It was like a basic grapple. It landed at like 18 and went all the way up to 30.
Well, I mean,
I think.
What if you're like going downhill or something? You know,
it adds
where
on
you
to
can,
it.
So like it's just to me.
Well,
it opens up the potential for it really to be a broken mechanic.
It adds on to it, but I will say I tested
in the bad way.
I tested that as well. After sliding for a certain amount of time, it takes into the fact that you're just sliding downhill and not sliding due to the benefits of the grapple.
So there's a cutoff.
So there is a cutoff, but I measured that out, and it's roughly 3 to 5 seconds, somewhere in there. I count a little.
So
slow,
either way, it's still a nerf.
It's still 40 seconds. It's still closer to 40 seconds. It's 38 at best, and that's still a nerf.
So the way that I think that they should do it is I think that they should make it so that it's from when you lift off the ground to when you touch the ground, and they measure out the length from that point, and then that's how you get minus or plus.
I would say do from the time you attach to detach. I just want to point out, like, playing Pathfinder, I know you've played Pathfinder quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Wyatt, you haven't played it nearly as much, but you know for sure the best grapples are not the ones that you launch yourself.
No.
They cover the most distance, but that doesn't mean they're the best. Normally with those, you put yourself out of position very quickly. The best grapples are normally the mid-range ones that it's really a repositioning tool more than anything mid-fight. And that's the best ones. But you're being punished. It goes up so fast. That timer on it goes up so fast. You're being punished just for repositioning.
Well, the way that I think about it is, you know how you can grapple the ground in front of you and then you can like jump and it kind of like slingshots you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that grapple should only be, the recharge for that should only be like 20 seconds, maybe less.
Honestly, dude, I've seen some of the best grapples come off that.
But those are really only escaping tools.
That's really only an escaping tool, and it's really only a repositioning tool. So shortening that amount of time to where you're just repositioning to get a better shot or to move to a different place, I think that leads to better gameplay. That's when you can get 2 20-second grapples right there back to back that are good.
I'm not opposed to shortening that time whatsoever. Like, I want to throw that out there. Shortening it, that's fine with me. I think that it should be just a flat rate across the board, though. I don't like this. The grapple gets worse the better you are with it, because that's what this is. I don't like that mechanic in anything. The better you are, I think that you need to take a nerf. That sounds like what we were talking about with the skill-based. The better you are, the harder I'm going to make the game against you.
All right, listen to this. So this is on Eurogamer.net. It got released on 9/10. It's an article about specifically this. And the article really mirrors a lot of the things you guys have been saying. So let me read just the last 2 paragraphs. And the person they're talking about, this Klein, his name is Daniel Klein, and he's one of the game designers for Respawn. So it says, while there's a fair amount of reasoning to explain the grapple cooldown change, some in the Apex community feel Respawn has gone overboard, with MNK arguing it's too easy to go above the 35-second cooldown with a slingshot. Personally, it does seem a shame that the change discourages sliding, as the slide mechanic is one of the most fun in Apex, and doubly so at speed. The good news is Klein said some follow-up changes are currently in playtesting for Pathfinder's grapple, so there may be further alterations on the way. Given Pathfinder is one of Apex's most popular characters, hopefully Respawn will be able to walk the zip line between nerfing and buffing the character in future patches. So it does sound like they're already working on it, and that's really encouraging.
Yeah, and I figured that would be the position they would take. So that's encouraging to hear. So, along with some of the other glitches and stuff, throughout the Aftermarket event, we had the Pathfinder glitch, we had the Sentinel glitch. If you don't know what those are, count your lucky stars. Overall, Aftermarket event has done pretty well, and I've been really happy with it.
It's what we've been asking for.
Yes, definitely.
So let's move on to our second part of the discussion, Horizon. She's fucking here, boys. And not only is Horizon here, but we've seen her face, we've heard her voice, she's Scottish. Can't see her cheeks. I have no cheeks update at this time.
It's unfortunate we can't see the cheeks yet.
I have no
I
cheeks
will be
update at this
happily
time.
waiting.
Side bet. Do we think the cheeks will be better than Loba's?
No,
small
there's
cheeks.
no way.
Smaller cheeks.
Okay. Scale of Bangalore to Loba. What is it?
I would probably lean. I'm going to lean towards Loba a little bit. I think she's going to have Loba.
You think she's going to have thick cheeks?
I think she's going to be thicker.
If we're really talking about it, like,
I think she's going to have like bubble butt cheeks, like Wraith.
We're talking like Wraith Watson,
like Wraith.
But Wraith doesn't really have bubble butt cheeks. She's just a smaller.
Yeah, I was like, Watson's got more cheeks than.
Yeah.
Okay, then Watson.
Watson's got the genetics. Wraith just had Wraith had to work. Yeah, Wraith, she drops it low, and she had to work for it. Whereas Watson was just born and she had cheekage just out. It's in her DNA.
Yeah.
So I think Horizon's going to have cheeks in her DNA because she wears like the tighter fitting clothes. Oh. So she's going to have cheekage for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new cheekage.
On a cheekage scale, I think she's going to sit at like a 7.5.
I would go with that as well. Small.
What do you think, Brian?
Strong cheekage.
Yeah, you're right. I was about to say it's going to be more than Loba, but they're not going to do that.
There's no way.
She's too big. She's too big of a character in this game.
Well, Loba's only good thing about her is cheeks at this point, unless they start fixing her a little bit here.
She's kind of good.
Yeah, decent.
You're the only person that says that.
So Horizon is here on the way, and our boy Shrugtul, man, like he's like the foundational piece of like this entire podcast. I don't know how we would do this podcast without Shrugtul, honestly.
Thank you, Shrugtul.
Thank you, Shrugs.
We would be rambling quite a bit more.
AKA,
than we already do.
Yeah, we do. And AKA the Shrug Daddy, he already has her kit almost confirmed. Like, it is so close to being confirmed. This is what he thinks it's going to be. Her passive is going to be the soft landing. She avoids fall stuns and gains some beneficial buff on landing. So, for instance, say you jump off the diving board on Kings Canyon and you hit the ground. A lot of times you stand still for a second and then you can start to move. And a lot of times that'll get you killed, especially if you're running away from somebody by jumping off the diving board. She is not going to have that. She's going to be able to go straight off the rip and keep running, which would be a benefit. Her tactical will be the repulsor, which is the gravity lifts that we've seen in the little event that I will get to in a second.
Well, we're not sure if that's going to be the case yet, but it might be a gravity lift. If it is a gravity lift, it'll be sick, but it could also be like the repulsor grenades, like from Fortnite.
We could see that as well.
Bounces you.
Something with that mechanic of pushing characters in a direction.
And then finally her ultimate will be a black hole that sucks in and damages nearby enemies. Now, if you're asking why I think it's going to be that, Shrugtul released a tweet earlier today that shows in the code for the game, it says Horizon stat trackers are now being stored in the game. Here are her 3 stat trackers. Hard landings avoided. Teammates gravity lifted. Black hole damage done. I mean, that's almost confirmation right there.
I mentioned it before, and I am hoping so much. I know I'm going to regret this at some point. That you can throw that gravity lift on the side of a wall and send somebody flying off the edge of the map. I think that would be hilarious.
Now, before we get into Horizon, I'd just like to say I really wished that it was Ash. I was really hoping for Ash to be the next character. But already seeing her kit, guys, I have a feeling that she's going to be fucking really good right off rip, which we have not seen in a long time. At least the last 3 characters who came out have not. No, Crypto sucked too. The last 4 characters who have come out have not been good. I think Horizon's going to be good right off rip.
I'm not going to say that until I see the hitbox.
Okay.
Well, bro, she's small and she's cute. She's small and cute.
All you've seen her is on a giant
I think
fucking TV.
I think the goggles are a little overdone. I see that everybody's got goggles.
Well,
She's got the Amelia Earhart thing going on. But dude, she's a cutie. She's got that robotic armor on. She's still thin.
What do you think, cheekage?
No.
No cheekage?
Absolutely. No, I think it's just, fit and tight. Just appropriately compact.
All right, so from Bangalore to Loba, where's she fit on the scale of cheekage?
Well, she's definitely closer to Bangalore, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. I do. I mean, look. I mean, I don't know if you really paid attention to that little pixelated clip, but her legs were like small.
Okay,
I don't.
So
could have surgery.
Don't trust.
I don't think that's better for anyone.
We're not going to put a
Shocker.
Kim Kardashian fucking booty
Shocker.
on a damn character in Apex.
Shocker. Robot legs.
Hey, maybe those are robot legs.
She has the high impact from falling that she avoids.
Yeah.
Where do you think the black hole is going to come from?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Actually, don't. Let's not do that. Either way, Horizon looks cool. Like I said, I wish it was Ash, but I think she's going to be good. How do you guys think she fits in the meta?
I don't think she's going to be crazy good, but I think you said that the ult didn't seem as powerful, but I think it's pretty strong.
I think her ultimate is what's going to make her good.
Her ultimate will win fights, and here's the reason why. It has nothing to do with how much damage it puts out. I don't give a shit if it puts out any damage. The fact that it will pull teammates into one location that you can unload at is absolutely absurd.
Or you can just fucking arc star them.
It's a graviton surge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
graviton from
a Zarya
Overwatch,
graviton
yeah.
surge. And that in itself is good enough. I don't care if it has no range, whatever it is. If it can go through a Watson ult, which it should not, by the way. If it has the ability
I'm
to
pretty
go
sure
through
it'd be a
Watson,
projectile.
yeah, I think it will be. But if it has the ability to go through that with the gadget class coming, we're looking at a very, very scary meta coming that I think might say disruptors look weak.
Now, here's the thing. Zarya was in Overwatch from day one, and she was never not good in the game because of her graviton surge. This is why I'm saying, dude, I think she's going to be off-rip meta character.
It depends on a couple other things, but I think you might be right. I don't know if she sees competitive play.
No, she'll see competitive. And because it's such a campy and you can sit and wait type deal, having that ult can literally mean a team fight win.
Well, think about this. You have the ult, right? And you have your tactical ability, which is we'll call it an elevator. If they're behind cover, say a rock, something like that, of that nature, you guys are both on the same level playing field. There's all that's in front of them is a rock. You have no high ground, they have no high ground. You throw the ult and then throw your tactical ability to elevator yourself up so you're looking directly down on them. You just gave yourself high ground, and they're taking damage and being sucked in, and all you have to do is throw some arc stars and shoot an R301 down into them.
Hold on, question. You said
easy.
You mentioned,
meta right off rip.
You mentioned prior to this week, and I think you actually mentioned it in that TikTok that blew up for us. There was 2 types of arrows. Mm-hmm. Do you think one of those could be an explosive tip?
It could be. It very well could be.
That very well would make sense.
If it's an explosive tip, then literally this combo is 100% if you're caught in the open, you're fucked.
Yeah. And
so you just can't get caught.
It makes Watson more of a
Okay, hold on. Let's give some backstory real quick. In case you guys don't know, bows have been leaked multiple times, and there was even more images of the bows in the dev stream, so that's what we're talking about. Bows are on the way.
Did you guys ever play Turok?
Yes.
No.
I never played Turok.
You never played Turok?
I don't even know.
Kyle, you played Turok, right? You hunt dinosaurs, and pretty much your main weapon in the whole game is a bow. And that was like my second religion back in the day. So I think that this might be the resurgence of Super Producer Troy in Apex Legends. I really think, there's nothing like the feeling of a bow in your controller. It's special.
And Troy, we didn't even show you the 30-30 lever action that they're putting in the game yet.
I guarantee they'll make it suck, though. I just have
I have a
feeling in my heart.
I think it's going to be a
suck.
slower fire rate than the Wingman, but a much harder shot.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think it's going to be a faster fire rate, but less damage.
I can't see a lever action. I can't see a lever action being faster than a pistol.
It would have to be. So what I'm thinking is, this is what I'm thinking the stats are going to be for it. It's going to shoot a little bit slower than the Wingman. Not much. A little bit slower than the Wingman, but it's going to hit for fucking like 66 or something.
Not 66.
Well, is the Wingman technically a single action revolver?
Yeah, it's a revolver.
It's basically
it's
a
like
revolver.
where you have to
It's a
pull the
revolver.
hammer back, right?
You don't have to pull the hammer back.
But
they're
they're pretending as though like it's kind of that amount of time, right? Where you have to reset.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's reasonable that you could shoot a lever action faster
I was
than a
gonna
single
say-
action revolver.
Here-
Not like the RE45.
Here's my thought of it.
Why?
I think that this gun is going to split the difference between the longbow and the Wingman. I think it's a slower fire rate than the Wingman, faster than the longbow, which isn't much of a difference. But it puts out damage in between the two. It's the happy medium of both worlds, but it's going to take like all rifles, take a longer time to switch and have a lower movement speed.
Are there any guns right now that have real iron sights instead of the little like laser dots? I haven't seen
P2020.
Almost.
The
P2020,
does?
the Mastiff, and the shotguns.
No,
For a long
the
time,
shotguns
the
has
Prowler
like that little laser like.
No, Mastiffs have.
No, the
No,
EVA
not
8
Mastiff.
doesn't. EVA 8 doesn't.
EVA 8 and the Mozambique and the Peacekeeper, depending on the skin though.
EVA 8, Mozambique.
Peacekeeper
So all
and
the shotguns.
and the P2020.
Okay, not the
And-
massive, but
Flatline.
So, is there any
Flatline?
flatline?
No,
No,
Flatline
flatline
does.
has a laser
Flatline
dot.
has
Does it?
yeah.
I would love to
G7.
see the 3030
G7.
have the first real authentic
G7.
iron sights.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
That would
I would
be
really
so
appreciate that.
But the bows too. Think of the skins that could come for fucking bows.
Tribal Sheva, Resident Evil collab, Turok collab.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
here.
Yeah. So bows,
would be exciting.
bows, dope.
I'm excited for bows. I love archery in any game. And
Yeah.
it's
No.
gonna be
When
great.
I play Skyrim, I only use bows.
Question,
pretty much.
question though. How do you think the bows are going to work, and how much damage you think they do off hit and off not hit?
I think
depends on the-
if Brian stays in Silver 1, they're going to work great.
I think it has to do with the fire rate.
Yeah.
I do.
So, question.
I'm letting that just glance off of me because they're so far down on the list this season that I don't even care.
So how do you think it should work? So, like in The Last of Us, you know how you draw the bow and it slowly just kind of like powers up over time, and you can shoot it straighter and longer the longer you hold it. You think it's going to work like that? Or you think it's just going to be like Robin Hood, where you just fucking immediately, as soon as you aim it, it just goes straight? Also, would the arrows count as projectiles?
What?
I just hope they don't.
Would
have
the arrows
explosives.
count as a projectile?
How could it not count as a... It's more of a projectile... Well, I mean, it's the same amount, but
What
it
if-
feels
it's not
like
gonna be
more
hit
of a
scan.
projectile than anything else.
No. But what I'm saying is, would it be destroyed by a Watson trap, or would it hit the Watson trap?
What if it depends on the arrow?
Well,
we're looking
does
at possibly
Does a
two
Watson trap only block energy weapons?
No, it blocks-
It blocks grenades or anything that's like a grenade.
anything that you throw
Anything that's a throwable.
or any ultimate that comes from the
But
sky.
it blocks both regular bullets and... It does not block regular bullets or energy bullets.
No, does not
Okay,
block.
that's what I thought it was. So absolutely the bow would go right through it, 100%. That's not even a question.
If it's explosive rounds, does it get blocked?
So I don't see why they'd change it, make an exception, especially if like you had a regular arrow that would go through it, and then all of a sudden the explosive didn't. I think it would make sense, but I don't think they'd do it.
If the explosive goes through it, if explosive arrows is a thing, which is if there's two types of arrows, that is my guess. It's an explosive tip arrow. That's what seems the most realistic to me. If that's a thing, and it is able to go through Watson's ultimate, Watson might be dead.
So I think the two bolts that they're going to have is they're going to have an explosive bolt, and they're going to have an electric bolt that just shoots out an electric blast.
They'll have a regular. It's going to be regular in either explosive or electric or thermite or something.
I don't think a regular one would be useful, though. I think it literally would be garbage.
No,
It would
I
be
think it's just
useful
the
in
ammo.
It would be useful in the form of it depends on how the arrows shoot. Like if they're silent,
Yeah,
it
that could be
actually there's a
huge.
huge advantage.
If it's silent, like dude, if it's a silent like in the same
Which
power
should
as
be silent.
If it's silent, less range and the same power as a longbow, that's a pretty strong weapon. Because now you're getting hit by a longbow from a direction you have no idea where it's coming from, so you don't know where to hide from, and you're just if they can land their shots, you're going to get railed, and you get free damage on people in a game where putting damage on with the way the shields are, and they've already talked about making the shields take more damage to get to red. Mm-hmm. That could actually be.
So
play a
you're
big
talking.
part.
So wait, hold on. So you're talking what? 50 damage a shot, 55 a shot, and then you
I'm thinking 60
headshot 120.
I'm thinking 60 and 120, 130 headshot, and the reason I know that's a lot, but what I think is it's going to have a very, or not a very, but
Heavy
a much
arc.
heavy
And a
arc,
slow-moving projectile.
heavy arc, slower moving projectile, and a slower rate of fire.
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure.
I don't think it'll have too long of a draw up time to pull it back to get that power out of it. So up close, it could still be very viable, but not more viable than a longbow up close or a triple take.
So you think you're going to be able to draw it reasonably fast?
I think you're going to be able to draw it reasonably quick, but I think with the travel time and to be able to use it effectively from a distance where you're being silent, I don't think that it's going to you're going to be able to poke on damage and maybe get a crack early with a good shot. Maybe you get 2 shots on somebody before they have a legitimate chance to escape.
Where did you hear there was going to be only 2 types of ammo?
Not
Shrugtal
only,
tweeted it.
not only, but
Not only, just
there's been images of pink ammo and yellow ammo, which have both been rumored to
So
be
at least 2 is
arrows.
kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, at least
What
2.
if it was like regular arrows that were more common, and then you had skull piercer arrows and disruptor arrows? How would you feel about that?
Disruptor. I just don't like the
Well,
word
it-
disruptor makes me want to kill myself.
If it was disruptor arrows, think more sentinel disruptor than alternator.
I know, but it's still...
Yeah, but you're also
I actually like that Skull Piercer Disruptor thing.
that would actually
that
be
would
cool.
actually fit the colors,
and it would
very well.
benefit. So I think that the problem with that though is if you can rapid fire the fucking arrows up close, then it's just all downhill for disruptors. You just fucking, as long as you can somewhat fucking hit your shots, you're gonna destroy that dude.
There's a lot of... We're all speculating right now, and we're playing the what if game. And with this, it's so broad.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get a quick add-in, and then we will hit Gambling Season 2, Week 2. All right. Gambling time. Gambling time, everybody. We are back. Season 2 started off with a bang. Let's go through the records from last week. I started off hot, boys. I'm 6-1, plus 28 bones. I'm sitting at 138 bones. Kyle had himself a good week as well, 5-2, plus 15 bones. He's sitting at 115. Brian, 3-1. He is the leader in bones at 160. He won 50 bones last week. And our champion is getting out of the gate a little slow here. He's 1-2.
Neg 32.
Minus 32 bones. He's sitting at 68. Yeah, it's just a little awkward.
It shouldn't be awkward at all.
What?
It really shouldn't.
Tell me
Brian's over here fake laughing, and I appreciate that because, he needs to work on his acting, and that's okay. But what I want everyone to know is that we came into a new season with completely different rules, and I didn't realize, first of all, that Brian would be able to maintain playing with children for as long as he did, and I didn't realize Kyle would underperform the way that he did in such an easy environment. And if you don't want to admit that this week sucked for you, Kyle, I'd be very surprised, because honestly, you've been pretty good about owning when you struggle. You really shat the bed, and Wyatt performed excessively well, and so there was a bunch of variables that were impossible to predict. And because I had won in such a dominant fashion last time, in the entire, literally from beginning to end, I was okay with taking some imprudent risks. But now, as more and more information comes, the gap will just continue to close, and my superior betting skill will still continue to shine.
So I just want to come out and say, it wasn't like a shat where you knew you shat yourself. It was like a shat where you weren't sure if you blew a hole in your pants or not, and that's the kind of shat
Kyle,
that I had for the week.
Your average was
Thank
so
you for owning that, Kyle. I really appreciate it.
Your average
really
was so
that.
bad, I didn't even write it down.
It's not good. It wasn't good.
We didn't even bother
It
to calculate.
wasn't.
We looked at it, we go, that did not hit.
No, I just didn't.
It was so jumpy and trash.
Well, here's the other thing, and all three of us benefited. Troy's only win this week was Kyle's under 2,400 max damage. That line was too high.
It was
We
way
all
too
noticed that
fucking
was
low.
too high, except for you, because we
Yeah.
convinced you to bet it. Troy told you not to. You did anyway.
In all honesty, if the rules had not been that you have to make a minimum of 3 bets, I would have shoved 100 on that. I really would have. That was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But you got to play by the rules.
Yeah, you got to play by the rules. Well, that one, we've lowered that line. Let's get into the lines real quick for this week. So for me, I am now in platinum, so things are going to be a little tight for me. My total kills is 34 with halves at 17 and quarters at 8.5. My average damage is at 600 and my max is at 2,000. Kyle's kills 30, halves at 15, quarters at 7.5 with the average damage at 550 and the max 2,000. Brian kills 25.5, halves at 13, 6.5, average damage 550, max 1,900. Brian, when are you going to go over 30 in kills? We've done this for a full season.
I hit 30.
No. Like your line needs to be over 30.
That's not up to me. You guys set my line.
Because your kills suck all the time. That's totally on you.
I've hit 20 once. I played shit 2 out of 3 weeks.
You have
You
2
had a
weeks
week-
where you got below 20.
yeah, 2 weeks where you went
And I
below
got
20.
1 week where I hit 30, another week where I hit 28. Listen, I never said I was consistent in kills. I've only ever said I'm consistent in fucking damage.
That's
average
for
damage.
damn
That's
sure.
it. Average damage.
I'm not saying you're consistent either, but like I'd like to see you one day get over 30.
I mean, honestly, if you were to count the past 2 days that I played, which didn't count because I'd already done my games, I would have hit 17 already in 2 games. So I can do it, especially
Well, I want to see it this week.
I mean, then bet the over on me if you want to see it.
I bet all the unders on you.
Then you clearly don't want to see it, you fucking
He's
piece
still.
of shit.
You have to understand, man. He is the kingfish in the smallest pond that we could find. He's still in silver, Kyle. You got to bet him like he's in silver.
Kyle's ranked
man.
lower than I am right now.
Listen, that's incredibly surprising, but after last week, he deserves it. But we know that that's not normal for Kyle. Yeah. We know that that your play is significantly worse than we're seeing, but you're thriving in this environment, so you got to bet. You got to bet along those lines, Kyle. It's a very dangerous thing you're doing.
Listen, he hasn't gotten a single win.
Wait, Brian,
I've won, but just not while I'm doing my games. But I have won since.
Exactly.
Since I switched to Caustic, I have been dominating.
Brian, I wish I could put like a bubble like the NBA and the NHL did. I wish I could put a bubble on you and just keep you in silver, and then just cash in on all the overs because you thrive in the silver environment. You do very well.
If I didn't, I'd be really disappointed in myself.
Yeah,
The way you showed that video to us, it felt like you were really surprised.
And
it felt like you wanted to hold on to that experience.
It was not a surprise. It was I needed to have backing that I actually put up 1,900 damage and got 9 kills in a game because you guys would not have believed me.
I would have believed it at silver.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have.
I
would have believed it.
I don't
silver.
believe you.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Brian, I will give you a silver. I'll give you a silver crown. You are the king of the silver. And
this upcoming week, I'm going to be king of gold.
Oh my God, Brian!
Listen,
and then I'm coming for plat, Kyle, and you can buy me a sweater.
It doesn't matter because you're never going to be king of plat, and I'm going to take. By the way, I wear a large.
I don't need to be. I don't need to be king of plat. I just need to make it to plat. See, that's where you're making the mistake.
Well, what you're making the mistake is assuming you're actually going to play. And then when you have the move, here's what you're going to do. You're going to procrastinate until you move, and you'll be like, oh, shit, I need to do this. Wait, the internet guy's not coming out. And then you're going to be on the phone at midnight. Hey, I need you here 9 a.m. Please come over right now. And he's going to be like, okay, I'll see if I can fit you in. And then he'll show up at 3:45, and then the season will end.
Joke's on you. My internet, I only have to switch it from one house to another. I'm not canceling it. So that being said, I'm just going to fucking leave it on at the other house until it gets switched over that day.
Yeah, the new people who move into your apartment, you're just going to be sitting there like, guys, I really got to finish this.
Here's the thing. I've got the lease over there for another fucking week after I move.
Okay. All right. So you're just going to sit in an empty room.
He's like, babe, I got to go over to the house. I got to get my games.
I got to go clean. I got to go clean. I'm not cleaning. I'm cleaning fucking lobbies out. That's what I'm doing.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, listen, it's not my fault that you guys get matched with me and dominated.
Oh dude. God, tragic.
All right. Who wants to read their card? I know Troy wants to go last because he doesn't want Brian to mooch off his picks.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Take my pen.
I'm going to go first because Brian sucks, and I want to say all the unders that I bet on Brian.
All right, get it going.
That's what I want to do. Okay, but first we're going to talk about Wyatt Babb. Wyatt Babb, I got the over on your total kills for 5 bones.
Nice.
I got the over on your fourth quarter average damage for 10 bones.
Nice.
And then I've got, for Brian, I have the under for your first quarter average damage for 10 bones because you didn't do that last week, and I'm hoping you just stay the same.
I hit my over on the average in every quarter last week.
Oh, well.
I hit the over on my kills in every quarter last week.
Well, I'm just hoping you blow this week.
I don't know where you're going with this.
And then I bet the under for your max for 10 bones.
See, that I get. I didn't hit that. That's fine. I don't.
And then I bet the under on this new bet that we're doing. It's a prop bet. I bet the under that you will not get 2 wins during your 16 games for 10 bones.
I thought it was 1.5.
1.5
Instead of
meaning
1.5.
1.5.
I have to
meaning
get
2.
Yeah, I have to get 2 to win to hit the over on the bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian, that's a pretty safe bet, but he's in silver. I can't say it enough. He's playing with kids. I don't know how many times I can say it in the same episode. Brian is playing with kids.
I'm literally in silver for 1 more game.
Wait, Troy, say that phrase again because it's kind of funny.
You can't even.
Brian is playing with kids.
Okay.
Maybe they're your kids. I don't know. you better go look in their bedrooms and find out if they're playing with Brian because he's destroying them with no mercy. He's showing his friends with 9-minute videos. So you better watch your back.
It took me a second to realize what you were saying until Wyatt made you say it again. You son
I
of
knew
a
the
bitch.
whole time.
All right. So you got the prop bet for Brian.
I got the prop bet for Brian, so
Under.
he's not going to get 2 wins. So I have the under for 1.5 wins, And then I have the over for my total kills for 10 bones. And then I have the over for my max for 10 bones because I'm going to hit that shit this week.
Awesome.
Way to bet big, Kyle.
All right.
I'll bet 65 fucking bones.
Way to bet big, Kyle.
Brother, unless you're putting out 100 bones,
I did.
I don't... Oh.
You're so stupid. Now, here's what I was going to say. The best thing about Brian being in the lead in front of all of us is the crash and burn that will subsequently
He's going to
follow.
fucking blow it all.
Yes, which he just did this week. All right, I'll go next. I got 6 bets, 24 bones, displaced around 6 bets. No bets on myself this week. Platinum has been giving me a tough time. I want to give myself a few more weeks to acclimate myself to Plat, and then I will get back to you on bets on myself. But for Kyle, I've got a 5 bones over on his total kills at 30. I think he hits that easily. I also have another 5 bones on his fourth quarter over on kills at 7.5. Easy line, fourth quarter. Kyle's in and out on the fourth quarter. I'm just betting on him being in this week. Really no other explanation other than that. This one could easily miss, but I would understand. I also have plus 3 bones on Kyle's over on his max at 2,000 damage. Kyle has hit the max, I think, 3 out of the 5 weeks that it's been available to him. So I'm going to take that 100% of the time. Moving on to Brian, I've got a plus 3 bones under on his 25.5 kills. He is in silver, but he doesn't tend to do well with kills. But I do have a plus 5 bones play on his third quarter over on kills at 6.5. 6.5 kills isn't a whole lot of kills. The third quarter he's been playing for a little bit, so I'm going to go with that. And then I have a total damage under on for 3 bones on his average damage at 550, and that rounds out my bets. I don't think Brian's going to hit 550.
You don't think I'm hitting 550 average?
No, because I think you said you have 2 more games until you hit gold, and then once you're in gold,
you do know that my average has skyrocketed, and it's not that big of a jump from gold and silver. Like,
It's going to be at least like 2 or 3 more weeks before the kids go back to school. So
that's California for you.
but I only put 3 bones on that one, so I mean I'm not betting the house on it.
I mean, that's smart. I mean, that being said, you never bet the house on
No,
anything
I don't.
ever at all.
I like.
How's
I'm
that?
a record guy. I like having a good record.
Yeah, you can have a good record, but that's never going to get you anywhere. You can't save to be rich.
I like my record. I'm a
You
record
like being
guy.
Okay,
a bitch.
Mr. I can't say to be rich. Let me hear your lines.
Yeah,
Okay.
go, hit your card.
My lines. So I bet an over.
Hold on, Brian.
Oh, go ahead. What are you going to
Hold on,
say?
Brian.
What are you going to say?
Listen.
Here's the peanut gallery
Actually,
again.
you know what? No, let me let you go first.
Yeah,
all right?
let
I'm
him go,
sorry.
let him
I
go.
should let you go. No,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
so
you
I'm so
should go
sorry.
last. Go
I'm so sorry.
That's right.
Oh, Brian, no, please forgive me.
You can kiss the ring now.
The fucking ring, your fucking ring pop to draw all the children to your lobbies.
All right.
Why do you get me every time?
Dude, you just leave yourself so.
You leave. Yeah, you really do leave yourself
All right.
out in the open, like you do when you're
I
playing
know.
in platinum lobbies. All right, go ahead.
Fuck you.
Read your card.
So I want to change all the overs I put on you now to under,
Okay.
but I'm not going to because
You know that's a dumb move.
I actually, even being in plat, you're not high plat. I've seen you play up to diamond, and I think you can still do that. And I think that you can still put up decent numbers, especially in the later quarters. But I will give you a 15 bone over on first quarter average damage. I will follow the same thing with 15 bones over in the third quarter average damage, and 20 bones over in the fourth quarter for average damage. I think you hit average damage. I think it's going to be fine. Giving you 1 quarter to slack off. That's your second. Start hot, get cocky, rage quit, and then you're going to come back a little bit later and calm down and play it fine. I feel like that's a trend.
I
for
always
you.
play 16. I always play all 16.
I know, but I'm just saying you might have to like rage quit and stand up for a second and pace the room like you do, and then go back to it, and then you'll be fine. That sounds like a Wyatt thing to do.
Okay.
Second is kills. I'm giving you an over in the third quarter for kills
Okay.
for 15 more bones. Kyle, you get an under
Give it to me.
on average damage for 5 bones. I really just wanted to hit the
My
100.
total average damage?
No, it's in the third quarter.
Oh, okay. Shit. That was the first time ever.
No. No, I didn't want to do the math. But your average damage third quarter under for 5 bones. I really just threw that in there because I wanted to make sure it hit the 100, and that seemed like the safest bet on the table that was left. And then obviously I put 30 bones on myself because if you can't bet on yourself, you're going to bet on.
Just stop it.
First quarter average damage.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's 100 bones.
Okay. So he's got 50 left after this.
That's
Assuming he loses all of them?
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly 50.
That's 100.
Before I read my card, I have something for you, Brian. Okay, this is a bet between you and me, but it doesn't involve you having to do anything. So that right there makes it something that you would consider.
I'm listening.
Okay, so I want to bet you that not total record, but just for this week, that I bet I will have a better record bet percentage. I'll have a better betting percentage for this week than you will this week. And whoever loses gives half of all of the bones that they have after we calculate the bets to the other person next week.
How many bets did you make?
3.
No, I'm not taking that.
Okay.
Put some more bets down.
No,
No,
I'm not.
I'm not. I'm not.
Damn it.
I'm not.
How about this? Let me adjust it one more time. And if you don't take this, it just shows how much or how few or little confidence you have in yourself, and that everything that you do and say is just purely bravado. So how about I will do the same bet for you, but you win if you get something above 0.5.
So 500.
Yeah.
If I hit over 500. So
If
I
you
made
bet over, so if essentially
so I have to hit 3 bets.
you have to get 3, right?
That's a given. That's a given. I'm sure at least one of these are a given.
That's
And what was the stakes again?
So I will. Whoever loses gives half of their total after everything is calculated at the beginning of next week.
How many bones do you have?
78.
And how many are you betting this week?
All of them.
78.
That would be stupid. Cause
No, because if you end up, by some freak reason, you end up losing all your bones, you're gonna have nothing to give me but 5 bones from your allowance.
All right. It's just it's
That's
exactly
just-
it
the
is
risk is too
exactly
high.
the cowardly move.
The risk is
that
too
I would
high
expect.
compared to the reward I would get. Your 78 bones aren't even. half of
Listen,
what
no,
I-
your time is up. All right, it's
Yeah,
okay.
just your
I'm not
coward
worried
just
about
your
it, dude.
coward
If you
over
can't bet on anyone, you got to bet on yourself.
He said, if you can't bet on yourself, who can you bet on?
Yeah,
He's not
that's
betting
exact-
on himself.
No, I'm betting on my own.
You're not
wits,
betting on your own
saying that it
ability
is
to
smarter
bet.
to not
You're
even
not
bet.
betting on your own ability to bet.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard this
If you had any
catchphrase.
confidence, you just tried to start off the betting section by essentially flexing that you're superior in your betting now all of a sudden, even after your abysmal last season.
I remember that.
So
He was doing that.
Yes, he was. And so, if that's really the way you feel, why wouldn't you bet on your ability to make good bets? Literally, all I'm asking you to do is make more good bets than bad bets this week.
That's
period.
kind of crazy that he would do that.
It's crazy that he would
Listen,
flex like that,
what you're
and then
trying-
he would back out with his tail between his
What
legs.
happened is Troy is down further than anyone right now.
Bro,
and
I'm
hold
at
on, hold on, hold on,
78.
hold on. You're still down further than anyone right now, right?
Damn.
And Troy feels like he's in last place and needs to play catch up. And he wants to get caught up quick so he can start making big bets like he did last week. Or not last week,
That's silly.
last season. And he is trying so hard right now to take down the top person to even out the playing field. I'd rather stay up on here and just squish him, just lean on him and make him keep falling down.
No
further.
matter what the circumstances are, I mean,
I'm in the power play.
I'm a guy of value, and when I say a catchphrase like "if you can't bet on yourself, who can you bet on?" Like
thing
I
is-
stick to that all the way. If I don't say it because
That's
I
sad.
that's not one of my values. But
know.
I mean,
If
I've
And
always
wouldn't you
pictured
like to win a bet against me after
Yeah.
that poor train wreck of a bet you took last
Listen.
season?
I don't hold grudges, but that being aside, I definitely hold grudges.
Uh-huh.
Brian is
I was
definitely
the
not a man of
the
value.
reason that you
Hold on,
got
hold
to
on.
zero bones last.
And you're
season.
putting yourself in a position to do that on your own this season. I don't even have to do anything for that.
Listen, you're so silly.
Well, hold on.
Wow.
We had no
Listen,
information
you guys-
going into week one.
you
knew
guys-
that was when you could get lucky, and you did. And I appreciate that you took advantage of the one time when you were blind so that you couldn't make bad decisions. But now you have a little bit of information, so now you're going to make the typical Brian decisions. So I see an ability to just make easy money. Prove me wrong, Brian. Come on.
This is
I actually think that Brian is smarter for not taking the damn bet.
Yeah, no,
Listen,
he's definitely smarter.
You guys,
but
you're trying to force him into a corner to take this bet.
you're doing
because
what I
your
did to Kyle
dumbass-
last week.
Yeah, your dumbass is going to bet all your money, and if you lose it all,
No, I have zero fear.
Here-
I have
here's what
zero
I'm
fear.
saying. Listen, Brian would definitely be smarter to not take this, but what are we in life if we're not following our values, our principles that we've built our foundation upon?
You're not viewing it correctly. What I'm saying.
Damn
you're not
it.
viewing it. You guys aren't letting me say how I view it. You can't bet on yourself who you're going to bet on. I'm betting on my own smarts to say that this is a bad bet that's not worth betting on. I don't bet on bets that don't hit.
Yeah,
Damn, I didn't know there was an asterisk on that
He literally
catchphrase.
just said, "I'm smart enough to know that betting on myself is a bad
is a terrible
bet."
No,
idea. Yeah.
That's exactly what you
I
just
said.
Damn.
It's smart enough to know that the payoff risk is not worth it.
Why would there be any risk if you had confidence in yourself?
There's still risk. It's that some of these bets I can't control. Freak things could happen.
Are there bets you can control?
Wyatt could play with one hand with his thumb up his ass for half the game. You might suck on all
I
of them.
could
I
do
might
that in
lose
silver.
a shit ton of games.
I could do that in
I think a lot of people do in silver.
Probably.
I don't know if a lot of people in silver have both their. All right, you know what? I'm done with you, man. It's fine.
All right,
I gave
get your
you
card.
the ability to really show us your confidence, and we saw it.
And
for what it was.
you know
We saw
what?
it.
It's not a confidence that I won't hit the bets. I'd rather just stand over you and win
Okay.
my way.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right, so
Just
I
not
put
a matter of
in
principle.
all of my bones because I really enjoyed that, honestly. I bet 34 bones or units on Kyle's first quarter kills, and I bet an under. Excuse me,
7.5.
I'm so sorry. I would never bet. I read that, and I was like, I'd never bet an under on a first quarter for Kyle. That's wrong. No, for Bab, sorry. 34 units, an under on Bab's first quarter kills, which is a 2-1. He doesn't perform well in the first quarter. I think he might hit his overall. I think it's a toss-up, but I think he usually does very poorly in the first, and so I'm going to stick to that trend. I also bet 34 units under on a 1-1 for his max damage, because to hit a 2,000 max damage at Platinum is possible, but not likely, so I'm going to stick with that. And then, what I think is a pretty shoe-in bet, a 10-unit bet. It's an over on Kyle's third quarter kills, which is a 2-1. So that is all 78 of my bones.
Kills are
expect-
1-to-ones. Yeah, kills are 1-to-ones all
on
the
a
time.
quarter? I thought a quarter is 2-1.
Kills
No,
are always
kills
1-to-1.
are always
Kills
1-to-1.
are always 1-to-1. Quarter damage is 2-1.
Yeah.
And then quarter max is 3-1.
Would you like to change that?
I might have to change it just because I thought the kills were 2-1s.
No.
I mean,
We
you could jump on board with my average damage. You can go to my average damage. I'm the most consistent with damage here.
All right, all I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to change it over so that for the first quarter kills for Bab, I bet him an under, and I bet him at 34 bones. I'm going to switch it over so that's 24 bones.
Okay.
24 bones. And then his under on his max is going to be 44. Just a slight switch over because I don't get as much of a payoff. But I'm going to stick with that.
All right, that'll just about wrap it up for gambling and wrap it up for the show. Once again, we apologize for missing last week. I just put up a small episode, but I disabled it so we could all talk about it this week. Just some schedule stuff came up, so we'll make sure in the future we let you guys know if that happens again. Don't forget to follow us all on socials at GrabMyBannerPod. Our TikTok is at GrabMyBannerPodcast, so go ahead and follow us on there. We'll be putting up stuff on the regular. We're on Google Play, Spotify, and iTunes if you have family or friends who want to listen in on different devices. Once again, this is the Grab My Banner podcast. We'll catch you guys next week, and see you later.
See ya.